Good day, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to sincerely thank all of you for giving me a great opportunity to speak up and let my voice be heard by all of you. To be honest, I'm kinda overwhelmed and I'm really nervous to speak, but as a person I am and for us to have a better world, I am confidently speaking and standing here right in front of you, focusing on composing my speech, addressing the plans on how are we going to overcome the inequalities present on our beloved community as one. Growing up in a middle-class family and of course as a Filipino citizen, I have grown up and perceived that one of the most prominent trademarks in the Philippine community is the inequalities. Philippines, where more than a country's population lives below the poverty line in socioeconomic inequalities. It was very evident that there were a lot of challenges arising in our community that we needed to address. Political inequalities, economic inequalities, environmental inequalities, social inequalities, and other forms of inequalities that torturing the world and its people. I believe every Filipino citizen only wants a peaceful and prosperous life. By having an equality in our community, we will have a better future. And in order to attain an equality, we should aim first to have a better quality of education, better healthcare, better judgment, social safety, and a great leader to have an equal and human rights in every aspect of life. For a betterment of a present, for a better future for future generations. Reducing the inequalities in every life of people means protecting and promoting human rights. So why don't we give a moral support in actions that empowering women and create opportunities for youth? Educate people about anti-discrimination, those who increase economic inclusion and create a decent and fair employment with higher incomes. Enhance social service that can also ensure social protection. Promote proper fiscal policies and develop fair and transparent tax system for both poor and rich people. Despite encountering different challenges that our community needs to work out, I still believe that we people can work as one to achieve our one and only goal. It's our responsibility to deal with this as we are the ones who are affected by it. We can, however, only accomplish this if we work together as a team and everyone makes a contribution. A noxious society may cause a lot of things that consequences things that we didn't expect to happen. That is why we need to talk and work things and face it together so that we can help each other to reach our goals in our personal lives and to the world we live by. We must first improve and develop ourselves before we take any actions. Once we have done that, we will have a great foundation. Or another thing that we can do is to be humane and compassionate. It might sound simple, but it is one of the most toughest thing to do as a person. Despite that, it is one of the most effective way to resolve the problem we have in the world. We must not forget that it is not only for ourselves, but also for future generation. Remember, by having an equality, we can ameliorate things.
The areas of social inequalities include to access to voting rights, freedom to speech and assembly, to extend the property rights and access to education, healthcare, quality housing, traveling, transportation, vacationing, and other social goods and services. Aside from that, it can also be seen in the quality of the family, neighborhood life, occupation, job satisfaction, and access to credit. And a lot of us are suffering in the different inequalities since it has a lot of origins, types of kind, results, and forms. Social inequalities is like racial inequalities, gender inequalities, and wealth inequalities. The way of people behave socially through the rises and existing practices and other forms of discrimination, the tends of trickle down and affection of opportunity and the wealth education can generate for themselves. First is the income gap. In our society, we know that we're not equal when it comes to finances. Some of us can afford education because of the poverty and some of us can afford but ungrateful. However, despite of the challenges in life, I know that all of us is patient, perseveringly, and the strategy of us have a good life and experience what is life without poverty. Gender inequality. There's a lot of judgment that's lack of attention in the past generation and other genders are not acceptable because of the tradition and beliefs that we have. But in our generation right now is every gender has their own right. They should be accepted no matter what gender they have. We should have to respect on what they want, what they feel about themselves. Education inequalities such as a distribution of academic resources, including school funding, experiences teacher, textbook and technology, especially now many communities lacking these resources are generally populated with groups that have been historically oppressed. Education inequalities is important because it will give students the chances to learn about unequal opportunity for education success depending on the race, income, and other factors in order for changes in our education system to provide a more equal education to all students in the future and the young student today that we need to inform about this issue.